Hey YouTube. Well, remember those Geophagus? Red-headed Trapaho? Here they are. Two broods. I don't know how old they are offhand. If I had to guess, I'd say probably about 6 weeks on the larger ones, and the smaller ones maybe 3 or 4. 29-gallon tank, so you know what you're looking at. Okay. Now, I just fed them baby brine shrimp, naturally. They're growing out nicely. They're doing very, very well. They really like the flow a lot. I have that spray wand is no good, so it's just basically a hose coming out of the fluval. So I'm trying to point. Right there. Yeah, it just comes right out of the bottom. It blew the plastic piece off. It's poor design. It was supposed to be a spray wand. Poor design. Let's talk about the shrimp. Okay. Well, I have a 20 high in the other room, which I'm going to bring and show you in a minute, that had these cardinal tetras in it. There's 7 cardinals and there's 1 neon mixed in there with them. I don't know how old they are. 6 months maybe. Been growing them out in the 20 high. This tank somehow got infested with scuds. I threw a beta in there and a couple of Endler guppies, mutts, to try and cull them, the scuds, and keep the shrimp. And I've got big shrimp, the little shrimp hide, and I don't. Again, the scuds, I don't know how many are in there, but I'm sure that a bunch of them hiding too. But this was originally just shrimp tank, and it was a good shrimp tank. I don't know how I got them scuds, but the scuds compete with the shrimp for food. And when you have a lot of yeah, they're scrubs too, but scuds, I think they compete with the food, and it's harder for the shrimp fry, I think. So it seems, I should say. Okay? Now, I took out of that 20 high, oh, we gotta clean up. We done a little progress in the working. It's painted now. What a mess. Gotta do trim work, and then the bathroom. Oh, and then this room. So here's the 20 high. And when I started looking at it, cleaning it and stuff, well, yesterday I destroyed it. I tore up these plants. The ones in the middle, because they're kind of water like that already. But I kind of tore it up. And now, one thing I want to point out, them two's a pair. Male's on the left, female on the right. You'll find I think, I could be mistaken, but maybe I am mistaken. Oh, I am. They're both females, both loaded with eggs. But I was going to say, a lot of times they'll travel. It appears to be like in pairs, because she's ready. Look at all them eggs. Isn't that something? Let me see if I can hear a little better. Oh, God, it's so hard. Look at that. Huh? Right? Is that a female beside her? It looks like it is. I don't want to get closer. I love the colors. They're all different shapes. Well, no, they're not all different shapes. They're all cherry shrimp shapes. They're all different colors and sizes, though. You see the snails? They're all on those little lollies in the center. That's one of those shrimp lollies. There's another one there. They're expensive, but I mean, it's fun. You just stick the stick in there and they just go nuts over it. Loaded with shrimp. We had a load of cardinal tetras in here, like I said. Cardinal tetras, 1 neon. Evidently, they don't predate on the shrimp, because there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shrimp. Well, when I was destroying this tank yesterday, trying to catch the cardinals out, every time I picked up something or put my finger on something, there was another shrimp. That's why I don't know. I hope to God I didn't kill any of them, but I don't know. I honestly don't. That's why I always say keep your hands out of the tank. Just leave them be, for God's sakes. But I wanted to get the cardinals out because I wanted to see if I can get fry. As you know, or may not know, the cardinal tetras are egg scatterers. So my hopes are that the eggs have not been eaten by the shrimp or the snails. I don't know. We're going to find out. I give it about a week and we'll revisit it. We'll look. And I probably won't say anything if there's no babies. I'll probably say at one point it is, but I'm not going to make a particular video of it. Plenty of detritus in the tank, 20 high, all over the place, right? The plants seem to enjoy it. I've tried to kill these plants, but they keep doing good. Very little filtration, just a little bit of water movement. I got a very small, super budget sponge filter. I'm sorry about the lighting. The sun is in and out. But at least the glare isn't horrible. It's a little bit, but it's not horrible, right? It's more about the shrimp, isn't it? And cardinal tetras. They really do get along well. So I can't speak on the others. We'll try different combinations in time. But for now, we're just going to let it go. What I ought to do is take those little lollies out and get rid of some of them snails, but they're not really hurting anything. They do a good job. You know, you gotta, if you're gonna keep plants, you gotta have snails because they clean the algae off the leaf. Unless you want to be in there with your hands and cleaning algae off the leaves with a brush or something or a rag, or I think that's utterly. I just think it's utterly ridiculous. And you know, I've watched YouTube videos of people actually doing that, and I'm like, what in the world is wrong with you? Keep snails. Some things just go together. Root beer, ice, right? Uh, Snails and plants. I don't think you should do one without the other. You know? You got to have the surface area. Do you hear that snoring? Oh gosh. Look. Really? Dude. I'm trying to do a video here. Don't smoke. Don't smoke. Alright. I'm sorry. She just has no manners whatsoever. There you have it. Look at those eggs. Is that not fascinating? This is what it's about to me. When you can get them in their own environment, you know, this is as close to a natural environment to them as you're going to get. Well, I'm sure others can do better than me, but for me, and this is all about me, it's it's what I enjoy. It's my hobby. Oh gosh, I do have to get a tripod. I'm so sorry. Look, I'm trying to hold it still. And then I got her Betsy over there snoring in the background. Look. Her name isn't Betsy, actually, it's Emmy. I don't know what she's doing. It's very interesting to watch. Loaded with eggs. Loaded. I don't know if that's a female beside her or a male, and I don't want to really get too close to her. But I have noticed, usually they're traveling. A lot of times if there's a female, there's a male close by. I think they're paired. I think they kind of travel together. We'll see what kind of fry we see from these shrimp. And there are a ton of fry. If I was to lift up that log and stuff and get up under that filter bag, this is how I filter it. I put a little mesh bag. I got the cheap little bio media thing that you can get on Amazon for like $5 or whatever it is from some guy in chat. That's just a rock. I'm sorry. You get the bags are so cheap. Just fill it up with that bio stuff. Throw it in your fish tank. It's not going to hurt. It's just going to add bio. You're going to have more biological filtration. It'll add. You'll be able to increase the bio load because you're increasing the amount of bacteria that you can house. That's the whole idea behind the filters. And the plants, I think, are invaluable. I don't have any problems with water quality. Let's talk about water quality. Let's talk about pH. Let's talk about all that stuff. First of all, I don't do any water changes in any of my tanks. Maybe sometimes, maybe, but no, never, 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 ever. Let's talk about mortality rate. I tell you, I lose a lot of betas, it seems. And when I say a lot, I've lost 2. But to me, that's a lot because I don't lose fish ever. I don't ever lose fish. You gotta quarantine your fish before you put it in the tank, unless you got something in there you really don't care what happens to it, if it dies or not. Because sometimes when you get fish, they're sick. It really is best to put it in the quarantine tank. And if you got to treat it with methylate blue or whatever, or raise the temperature, do it in the quarantine tank without plants. Throw some guppy the grass, the guppy grass. Throw it in there for plant to help with processing the water, the ammonia, the nitrate, the nitrite, the nitrate. Get it out. That's what the plants feed off of. You can take that out of the quarantine tank if you have to medicate it. You can have a piece of wood and you can take it out too if you got to medicate it. Just set it out, wrap it in a wet towel. If there's any snails on it or anything, that'll be fine. Wrap it in a wet towel. That's what or wet newspaper. When I kept reef tanks, and they would always, you got live rock, everything was always wrapped in wet newspaper. If you collected I used to collect in Puerto Rico when I'd go on vacation. I'd collect for my saltwater tank, some sea urchins and stuff. The rocks, maybe a few stones. Wrap it in newspaper. Coral, wrap it in newspaper. That's what they do. You don't put it in a bag of water, and it'll keep for a long time. It'll just be dormant for a few days. I did that. Brought it home to my fish tank in New York when I lived up in New York. This is just teeming with life. To me, that's what it's about. I started this tank. I probably threw in, I don't know, 3 or 4 snails, 3 shrimp, and I mean, just look. It's everywhere. There's something going on all over this tank. It's the most interesting thing to watch. Just a little water movement, some plants. That's all you need. And keep your hands out of the tank. That is got to be rule number 1. And if you do have to put your hands in the tank, rinse them good with water. Make sure you get all the soap off your hands. If you wash them, make sure you get the soap off your hands, every bit of it. Because it doesn't take much to kill these little guys. I guarantee you, if I put in literally 1 drop of that methylate blue, I would kill the entire tank. All the shrimp. Every one of them. They're so sensitive to copper and stuff like that. Don't do it. Keep your hands out of it. Let it do its own thing. Just watch it. Put a lot of, do what Father Fish says, or Lucas Bretz. They do it right. You just need a little water movement. This deep substrate, absolutely. I just have sand. I should have put a shovel of earth in there and then covered it, but I didn't. But I should have. That's, in fact, if someone's setting up a tank, I tell them to do it. That's what Father Fish does, and many, many other fish keepers do it the same way. And that's how to do it, I think. Gravel bad, absolutely. A little rock pile's good for breeding the shrimp and give them a little safe place, like Lucas talks about. But I've found it's best to have water movement in there because you don't want to disturb anything in the tank. Because I guarantee it, if I lift up that little cave on the right side, the little Apisto cave, it'll be you'll get a foul smell from anaerobic bacteria. I guarantee it. That's not good for the tank. If you disturb it too much, you'll kill everything. A little puff here and there to be all right. So, plenty of shrimp. What's the secret? Don't feed them too much, but you got to feed them. Let's talk about another thing. You know, there's a myth, and I'm pretty sure it's a myth. Fish don't feel pain. If fish don't feel pain, how come if I touch the fish, it freaks out and moves? Why would it move? If it doesn't feel pain, it'd have to feel something, right? Come on. Just because they don't make sounds doesn't mean they don't feel things. They wince. If you touch against their body, they'll move. They feel you, right? How could they not feel pain? That's just, I mean, that's a whole other video, I'm sure, by someone much more qualified for me. I'm not any kind of PhD doctorate or anything like that. No, far from it. Just a point in fact, though. When they touch them, they move. They can sense, they feel it. Getting up in them roots. Look, there's a little pothos growing in there too, and a wandering Jew on the other side. The roots, they like it all. Look, they keep the roots clean. The shrimp do. I think the snails more so. And as I said, you got to have the snails with the plants. Unless you want to clean every little bit, leave. Let the snails do it. They work cheap. A little bit of algae. Throw a little algae wafer in there. Piece of cucumber. They'll be your friend for life. I guarantee it. Shrimp like it too. Don't feed them too much. But you got to feed them. Don't think don't feed them. They'll eat the biofilm. No, nonsense. I don't believe that one bit. You know what? Try it. Try 2 tanks. Do a 5-gallon. Do 2 10-gallons with shrimp. Okay? I'll condone that. 10 gallons for shrimp. I still think it's a little small, but whatever. Feed one. Let the other live off the biofilm. Give it 2 months, maybe 3. Then report. I guarantee you the one that you're feeding is going to be teeming with life. And the one that you didn't, they'll have life, but it won't thrive like the other. And the plants won't do as well, because the plants need food too. So when you're feeding it, you're feeding the shrimp, you're feeding the plants, you're feeding the snails, you're feeding every other microorganism that's inside that aquarium. One way or another. It might be secondary, it might be the waste of the fish, right? That's what feeds the plants mainly. And when the food's not eaten, they'll get a little bit of that, but I don't think there's any food in this tank going uneaten. You know those little brine shrimp cubes that you get frozen? I'll put one in here with when I had the fish, and now, yeah, maybe one Cyclops cube, maybe. I don't know I think they'll probably eat it, or if they don't, the snails will. But there's no problem. Looks like I don't know what they're eating, but they're eating it. They're eating pretty good because look at them all. And I was feeding a lot of frozen food. I don't feed a lot of flake. In fact, to be honest with you, I don't even have any flake in the house. I have all frozen. When I go shopping for fish food, I don't tend to even think to buy flake, to be honest with you. I do like the bug bites. The angels seem to like it. All the fish seem to like the bug bites pretty well. The Denison bobs do. Roseline sharks, same thing. Cardinal tetras, they'll eat pretty much anything, but they tend to prefer the vegetables. So give your fish, give it your shrimp, green beans, cucumbers. They'll love you for it. You'll have a nice fish tank. Don't put your hands in the tank. I can't say that enough. Do not put your hands. See, look. I ruined my little tiger lotus. It was so much bigger. Look, I broke that off. I don't know if it's going to die. Am I going to have to trim it up? I mean, I'm sure the bacteria can handle it. That was kind of looking bad to begin with, I think. But I did tear everything up out of the soil, and I had to replant a few things. And I had one of those banana plants in there. Don't tell my wife, but I think I killed it. I don't know where it is. Does she like that banana thing? what it was. It didn't seem to do well. It doesn't get the leaves, it seems. I don't know how to raise those. I'll have to YouTube it. There's a lot of smart people on that YouTube. And there's a lot of scammers, too. Watch out for some of these people. They just want to sell you stuff. You don't need stuff. You need a little air filter, a little air pump. Look. See? That's it. That's all you really need. Right? Shrimp are kind of, I mean, you got to have clean water for anything, really. They're doing good. I mean, I did this maybe 3-4 months ago. I put 3 shrimp in here, right? Maybe, probably a little longer. And I do have a heater on here. 78 degrees. I did it for the Cardinals, for the Cardinal Tetras. And I'm going to keep it on like that because I really think there's going to be fry in here. I'm pretty sure those fish laid eggs. And we're going to have baby Cardinal Tetras. I don't know. That's a big one. Look what. That is a female too. You see the female's got that little skirt. The males are more streamlined. That's a female. See the skirt? That's probably a male. All different colors. But you can tell the difference. Look at them all. They're all over it. Lots of females with eggs, huh? You see them all? Let's look at that. That's pretty neat looking. I think that's a male. See, no eggs. Thinner on the back end. Same here. And to the left, the red one's a female, huh? Oh, they're eating good. Look. Hope you're not eating lunch. Another female. Then a male. They're all over it. But you want to get rid of your snails. That's probably the way. There's a male right there. Now it's a young male. He's not colored yet. I don't think. I don't know. Maybe he's going to be that color. I don't know. I'm no expert in anything. I just know this is what I do. This is what I've been doing. And I mean, I got fry everywhere. I got geophagus fry. I got cherry shrimp fry. I got guppy fry. Goodness gracious! If you got guppies and you don't have fry, there's something wrong with you. Or you got some predators in that tank. Or you just got guppies, the endlers, whatever, muck guppies, and a little bit of rock or plant, and you don't have babies. There's something wrong with. I don't know what's going on. They're sick or something. It don't take much. Right? They're everywhere. Well, wish me luck with the Cardinal Tetras. I got some geophagus, and now, I don't know, a couple months old. I think about a month, maybe 2, and I'll be able to give some away. If you're interested in any of the geos and you live nearby, or shrimp for that matter, you can reach out to me on Gmail. Send me an email, jim250lt@gmail.com. We can meet. I'll bring a bag of shrimp for you. Some plants, maybe. Set you right up. If you're local to Louisville, Kentucky area. Okay? Please subscribe, like, share if you like the content. It's not by any means professional. It's just my point of view. It's what I do. I'm retired. Luckily, my time is my own. I could do whatever I please. If anybody is retired and they are telling you that they are bored, they just probably, I don't know that they have an imagination, because there is just, I mean, you could do anything. This is what I love to do. This is my passion. This is why I never did it for work. I didn't want it to lose its luster for me. I've been keeping fish since I was a child. Now I'm 60. And I tell you what, I get as excited now to see fry in a tank as I ever did. Look at them all. I can't get over it. Myself, it's my tank, and I see it every day, but I'm still like, wow, I love it. Who wouldn't, right? Little babies, all different sizes, shrimps and geophagus, and I love it all. I've got a little tub outside. I'm letting it fill with rainwater. It's not going so well. It's too cold to put anything out there, but I think I'm going to throw some white cloud minnows in there, maybe some of that water lettuce. I know the water lettuce will do amazing in there. I just want a little water lettuce to keep the water a little bit cool. But I'm not going to allow it to cover the entire top. And I'll tell you what, with the 150 gallon, I'm not going to put I'm going to put a couple bags of sand in the bottom of it. I'm not going to put any electric to it. No heat, no air stone, plants, sand, fish. And here's another thing. Do I add the fish first? Do I add the plants first? I thought about that when I started back keeping fish. You put it in all at one time because one needs the other, right? The snails need the plants need the snails. The plants need the fish need the plants to keep the water clean. Sometimes they breed on the underneath side of the leaves. Sometimes they breed in the roots of it. Right? You got to have that little environment for them. And once you do, it doesn't take much. Look, a bag of pool filter sand, some plants, water. We can afford water, right? Shrimp, what do they run, about $5 a piece? Get 5 of them. You can tell the difference between the male and female. Look for the little skirt. That's a female. The more streamlined is the male. It's not hard. You can see it when they're young, the shrimp. But you get whatever color you like. It doesn't matter. Neocaridine is what I have here. I don't know anything about the other ones. I don't check the water. I pour the water in. You know, I tell you what I do is I use the refrigerator water to top off my tanks. I got like a 4-cup measuring cup, and I put 4 cups on the water for the refrigerator. You know, the filtered water. That's the key, filtered water. And that's what I do. I top it off. I let it get to room temperature. I dump it in the tank. All the tanks have that refrigerated water. I change the filter about every 6 months or so. I do have a whole house filter, but I haven't put it up. I got so much going on with everything. But now I'm going to switch from this hobby and go to the other one, which is working on the house again. And hopefully we'll get some progress done. I've tried to find a contractor, but it's not working out. I was trying to do an addition. Just not working out for me. Look at there. Let's see what we can do. There you go. You've seen it all now. You've seen a tank. I'm going to sit here a while and watch it some more, imagine. I'll post another video if we got any neons, cardinal tetra babies. I'm pretty sure we're going to have some. I think there's eggs in that detritus because they've been spawning every day. And I just took them out yesterday, so hopefully if there are eggs, like I said, the shrimps or the snails didn't get to them. I'll let you know. Y'all have a happy day. Take care. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. You don't have to send money. I'm good. Send nothing. I'm good. Keep it for yourself. Keep your fingers out of the water. Please keep your fingers out of the tanks. Do as I say, not as I do. I don't do it. I really don't put my hands in the tank. Only when I need to. That's the only time. Worst thing you can do. Stay out of the tank. The tank's for the fish, not for your fingers. Throw a little food in there. Don't feed too much. The worst thing you can do, don't feed too much. A little bit. Use your mind. Look, they got small bellies, right? How much food are you going to give them, for God's sakes? Right? Think. They're not, feed a little bit a couple times a day if you want to, if you don't think they're getting enough. But a little bit. Right? They're small bellies. Little bitty things. But feed them. Don't not feed them. You got to feed them once a day. Okay? I know some people will be like, oh, they'll be all right. Sure, they'll be all right, but they're going to be hungry. Aren't you going to be hungry? Come on. I know, no, they're not humans. You're right. That's just how I feel about it. Based on my own experience. I know if I feed them every day how they act in the morning, and I know if I feed them a couple days without how they act. And I'll tell you what, a couple days without, they're a lot more aggressive feeding. So have a good day. Keep your fingers out of the water. Unless it's the beach or the lake or the swimming pool or the shower, bathtub, that's good. Dishes, we can wash your dishes. But if it's got fish in it like that, and it's in your house like a fish tank, and you don't need to put your hands in, maybe your statue's crooked, leave it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You got a little hair algae, leave it. Where's the hair algae in this tank? I don't even know. I don't even know why there. How is there not hair algae? That just occurred to me because I got it in every single tank. And it's probably because the plants. It's interesting. Never just occurred to me too. No hair algae in there. Odd. I think it's the tank. The plants. Look at that roots. That's just sucking nutrients out of that water like no other, right? And this one here. That is just ridiculous. Lots of new growth. Okay, I just ramble on. I could do this for hours, really. I just love that. Oh, by the way, the little statue in the middle, that's not a Buddha. It's something different. Some Indian culture thing. I don't know. But I think it's the coolest looking thing. I'm probably disrespecting some god. Forgive me. I just think it looked cool. It was on Amazon for cheap, man. So I bought it. And I don't know. It's kind of grown on me. I might get another one. It's pretty neat, I think. Enjoy yourselves. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for subscribing and liking. I appreciate it. I really do. Maybe Yahoo. Is it Yahoo? Google? Who owns it? Google? Maybe they send me a check one day. Oh, there he is. All right. Thank you.